Oklahoma State at Oklahoma, -7. The Sooners, Saturday, 7:30 Eastern Time, ABC. This is, among many other seasons, this is a period of time in a college football season that I like to call point spread season. Point spread season goes like this. How is Oklahoma favored over Oklahoma State? One's been rated higher than the other one. Excuse me, I intentionally used the wrong word. One's been ranked higher than the other for the last several weeks. Well, friends, this is the difference, as we always try and talk about here. How many times do we talk about this? There's a big difference between being rated and being ranked. Where you're ranked is just where a bunch of writers put you, largely awarded based on win, lose, and by default you move up, move down, whatever. We don't really care about that. What we care about is rating, power rating. And we have not had Oklahoma, to my knowledge, a single time in our internal numbers, power rated below Oklahoma State, meaning at any point this year, if they played on the field, we would have picked Oklahoma. So it's fine to disagree with that. I have good news for you. If that sounds wrong, the whole purpose behind the rating with an odds maker is they have those ratings because they're going to put a number on a game, and then here's the important part. They're going to put it out on the market where you can bet it. So I don't really want you to waste a whole lot of time filling my inbox talking about how that's wrong. Don't waste my time. If they're wrong, they're giving you free money. So go take Oklahoma State plus the points. And hey, if they're that wrong, I would suggest maybe just a little sprinkle there on the money line. So these are my favorite types of games now, actually getting to the game, because it's a conflict right now in present schools of thought in the Big 12. The present schools of thought are this. When you go to Oklahoma State is thought to be playing, and I'm not arguing, I'm not disputing this. Oklahoma State is thought to be playing good enough defense, and have been all year, to limit or just outright contain any offense that they're going to come up on. And so far this year, that's largely been accurate. School of thought number 2 is Oklahoma's offense. While there were some struggles early in the year, and there were some turnover issues, and there were some growing pains with Spencer Rattler, they have finally hit their stride. Now, it helps to have programs like Kansas to get fat on, but that's fine. If they're hitting their stride, they're hitting their stride. And those two obviously conflict ideologically. Which one wins out? Those are always my favorite kind of games, especially if you've gotten later in the year and you got a team that looks like it's catching its second win. We were talking about Auburn earlier. Someone out there, a few teams out there are going to do this every year. So who's to say it's not Oklahoma this year? 2 tidbits, by the way, that I just want to toss in those arguments that I just made. First tidbit is the thing about this Oklahoma State defense is they've been so incredible at getting off the field on third down. What you love, or at least I love when I've been watching Oklahoma lately, is the rhythm that they're getting into. They're extending drives, moving the chains. The quickest way to throw the old crowbar and the bicycle spokes of that rhythm is getting folks off the field on third down, especially early in drives. And all of a sudden you get to the end of the first quarter, it's midway through the second quarter, and they've run 27 plays and you've run 9. And you're asking yourself, what time of possession, total plays? Like, a lot of this stuff is getting kind of lopsided on us. We can't develop any timing and rhythm. We can't really get in our groove if we can't get on the field. That's what you would hope if you're siding with Oklahoma State here. The second thing, though, is, and the reason why I don't necessarily know that Oklahoma State's going to be able to take advantage of that all afternoon, very quietly, I feel like Oklahoma's run defense has become pretty strong, and that's not something that I was able to say earlier in the year. They've been pretty good, and so you kind of asking Spencer Sanders in this pass game, I think, if you're going to be extending drives on Oklahoma and you're going to be controlling that clock and you're going to be keeping them off the field, that's kind of how you're going to have to go about it. Oklahoma State hadn't won this game since 2014. Now, that doesn't necessarily matter. I just want to talk to you about how significant it would be. Tylan Wallace at wideout, speaking of that pass game, that's a guy they need to go off. It's a guy that Oklahoma circles. It's a guy everyone circles. Don't care. He is a star player in this game. That's a guy that has to go off. I think he missed the game last year, but a couple of years ago had 10 catches for well over 200 yards. That's the kind of day that they'll need out of Wallace, because that pass game's going to need to level up a notch or two for Oklahoma State to win here. Colin, let's go to our game capsule for this one. Oklahoma State at Oklahoma, a.k.a. Bedlam. This line's moved. I think it opened at 9 or 10. It's moved down to 7. We have our number right where it opened. See, our late kick, our in-house model, we've got Oklahoma minus 9.5. So we agree with what the initial thought was, and now the market has dragged it all the way down to 7. So where we're going here is we're going Sooners to win, and we're going Sooners to cover, especially if we're getting the number we're getting right here on this Tuesday night, which is OU -7. So give us Lincoln Riley and company to win, and we're actually going to take them to cover as well.